Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Trail Snacks cooking event hosted by the Greater Sudbury Public Library Cooking Club. Today, we'll be making 3 lightweight and delicious snacks with simple ingredients that are perfect for your next adventure on the trail, water, or away from the kitchen. First up, we'll be making apple cinnamon fruit leather. For this recipe, you'll need 4 cups of apples chopped into smaller bits, 2 tablespoons of granulated sugar, and 1 tablespoon of cinnamon. Feel free to adjust these measurements to your taste preferences, and a half cup of water. We'll start by adding all of our ingredients into a small cooking pot. Next, we want to soften the apples by letting them simmer on the stove for 10 minutes or so. Check and stir frequently to ensure they don't stick to the bottom of your pot. As the apples soften, begin mashing them into a pulp. If you have a potato masher at home, here's where such a tool would come in handy. Once your apples are mashed and most of the water has boiled out of the pot, add the apples to a blender and blend until smooth. You could also use an immersion blender here. Pour the mixture onto a silicone baking sheet or parchment-lined baking sheet. Then use a spatula to smooth the mixture into a very thin, even layer. Dehydrate your mixture in an oven preheated to 170 degrees Fahrenheit. It will take about 2 hours to dehydrate to the right consistency, but you can check back on it every half hour or so. The leather is ready when your mixture is a little bit sticky but doesn't fall apart. You can also flip the sheet of leather halfway through the dehydrating process. Remove the sheet of leather from the oven and baking sheet. Cut it into strips using scissors and enjoy! Next, we'll be making Chipotle Lime Roasted chickpeas. For this recipe, you'll need 1 can of chickpeas drained and rinsed, 1 tablespoon of honey, 1 tablespoon of lime juice, a half teaspoon of salt, and 2 teaspoons of chipotle peppers in adobo sauce. You can use canned to make your life easy. I've already drained and rinsed my chickpeas and added them to a mixing bowl. Next, I'll add the remaining ingredients and mix it all together. Line a baking sheet with parchment paper, then spread the chickpeas out onto the sheet in a single layer. If you're making the fruit leather at the same time, you can also roast the chickpeas in your oven preheated to 170 degrees Fahrenheit. At this heat, it will take about the same amount of time for them to dehydrate, about 2 hours, and you can flip them halfway through for a more even roast. They are ready when the chickpeas feel fully dehydrated and are no longer soft in the middle. Transfer the roasted chickpeas to a travel vessel and enjoy. Finally, we'll be making no-bake granola bites. For this recipe, you'll need 1 cup of pitted dates, a half cup of rolled oats, 2 tablespoons of maple syrup, a quarter cup of peanut butter, a handful of nuts or dried fruits of your preference, and optionally you may want to add 1 tablespoon of hemp hearts or 1 tablespoon of chia seeds. First, go ahead and line a shallow casserole dish with a sheet of parchment paper. You can then set this aside for a moment. Next, add all of your ingredients to a blender. blend or pulse the mixture until everything looks like it's starting to clump together. Add the contents of the blender to the casserole dish and use your hands or a spatula to flatten it into a level disc or square. Put the dish into the freezer for at least a couple of hours. Once removed, you can cut the granola sheet into bars, squares, or any other shape you would like. Thanks for tuning in to our GSPL Cooking Club event. For even more great recipes, resources, and cooking events, check out the club on Facebook or view past episodes on our YouTube channel. We love to see what you create, so be sure to share photos of your trail snacks in the comments section below.